Today I'd like to go over Arlo products. I'm going to go over the solar panel that Arlo makes, the dual battery charger, the charging cable for the dual battery charger, the Arlo Go, and the Arlo skins. And when I talk about the Arlo Go, I'll also cover some for the Arlo Pro as well. What I'm going to do is I did a screen record on my phone. I'm going to open the Arlo camera app and I'm going to start a feed and mute it. And as you can see here, there's my hand moving in front of it. And we can go large screen. And on the bottom, if you look, you can see a microphone. The Pro and the Go have two-way communication, so I can press on here and it'll come out the speaker on the camera. And then you can hit the record button and do a manual record. You can also hit the camera looking button, the still camera looking button, and that'll take a quick snapshot, and it says live in the top. And then I'm going to go and exit out. Okay, so now that you saw what the camera feed looks like and the options you have for it, the next thing is I'm going to take the camera and I wanted to show the battery removal, because what we do specifically is we use this device. Now on here, there is a SIM card slot and an SD card slot. One of the reasons that I chose the Arlo products was because it allows for offline recording. The Arlo Go uses a cellular connection and then goes back to the Arlo cloud and uses the same app as the Arlo cameras you can use on your house. So in one app, you can have your cameras that are out in the middle of nowhere, and you can also have your cameras at your house or wherever you're going to have, and you can get alerts on your watch with a little picture, and it's very convenient. And if you're remote, what you can do is you can use one of the Arlo solar panels and pair it with the camera, and I'll go into that in just a minute, but you just plug it in, and sometimes it's a lot easier than others, and you just plug it in and it charges. The benefits of both the Go and the Pro, and the Pro 2, are you have two-way conferencing. So on the bottom here you have a speaker and a microphone, and that allows you to hear what's going on, and also allows you to press the button in the app like I showed you to talk back. You have a camera with a motion sensor and IR lights, so you can see in the dark, and we've had really good luck with this camera, and the Pro also. And it's not going to be a full floodlight, but it definitely covers a fair amount. And if you have any kind of moonlight or street lights or anything, it's plenty of light in the dark for these things to see. They use a standard 1/4-inch hole like you would find on a tripod or something like that. And they have a couple different mounts for the Go and the Pro, and the Pro 2. You have a kind of a more rock solid one that screws in with 3 screws, and it's metal and it tightens down, and you can move it in a 360-degree kind of view way, and then lock it where you want it. The Pro uses a small indented circle on the back, and it uses a magnet. So if you don't want to have the screwed on mount, you can put the magnet one up, and then like inside your business or something, and then move it any direction you want to, and that's really, really helpful. And then to charge it, it has a micro USB. All their stuff does. So all the cameras have a micro USB. They come with a micro USB charger, and it's just a power brick like you'd have on anything else these days. It's USB. And then what's nice is that same charger for this dual battery bank is also micro USB that plugs in the back. And that means you have one connector, so even if you have micro USB for any of your phones or whatever you have, you can use that same connector to charge the 2 batteries, to charge your cameras, and it's just nice having one plug that does it all. The reason that we went with this after probably about a year, maybe 2 years, was you have indicator lights on here, amber for when it's charging, green when it's charged. We can charge two at the same time, and you can take, these work on the Go and the Pro, and it's really convenient to be able to take two batteries and keep them charged, and then when you're getting low, which we usually get a few months out of these cameras, and then you just go, pull them off, swap in a new battery, and you're ready to go. Now that's where the solar panel comes in, and the solar panel also has the quarter-20 hole, or the quarter-inch hole, and it has a kind of proprietary, it's still micro USB, but it has like a special clip that secures it in the bottom. Now, this is where I've seen a lot of the forums of people that get frustrated with these panels. I'm not going to say this is for everything because we don't live in like Arizona where you're going to get, you know, super sunshine all the time. But during the summer in Texas, we have enough light in the hours of peak sunshine time with this pointed in the right direction to keep these charged. Now they go from not using the solar panel, in fairly average use between animals or landscaping crew or just us walking around, we usually get probably about 2 months or a month and a half. Now in more active areas, we have one that also faces the front of our house just so we can see their cars when they're parked there at night. And that one is about a month or about 3 weeks, but it's still really good for a camera that's no wires, which is another reason with this. There's no communication wire and no power wire. They're completely 100% wire free, which was the main selling point. And then again, you can pair the Go with this and go, I mean, pretty much anywhere. You use Verizon, and Verizon's everywhere I've been, minus a few places. And you can set this on a tree for a hunting camp, a hunting lodge or something. You can do all kinds of stuff. And as long as there's moderate activity and you have good sunlight, it should keep it at least like 80-90% charged without having to do anything. Now we did have some issues where we did not have the direct sunlight, and it was a mixture between battery and solar panel, what we found out, but we had to change out a bunch of stuff and try it. But we wound up having a battery issue that the camera kept on getting drained. And then we had it was some kind of solar issue where the solar panel was pulling energy from the camera because we used the same old battery with the solar panel, and it was draining really fast. And then we took off the solar panel, same old battery, and it was still maintaining fairly well. It was draining quicker, it was draining less fast than it was with this plugged in. And then we went and got two new batteries, and it's been perfect ever since. It's been holding about 80% charge without the panel between every about probably 2 weeks of just swapping out the batteries just for our maintenance when we do them. The other thing that these have with the Arlo Pro also is there are skins, and for this, when you go to the store or Amazon or whatever and get these skins, there's a black one, and then you have this camo Realtree kind of thing going on, and they're pre-cut on everything. So on the back of your charging port, which is where your solar panel can plug into, you have your speaker and microphone and your mounting point here, and then you also have a sync button. You have a feel here, so if you need to, you can press that and sync things. And then all you have to do, like you saw earlier, is you just pull this over, press a button, and pop it out. Why did we choose Arlo over Nest or something like that? Again, these are 100% wire free. That was a big selling point, so we can put them anywhere. And then the Wi-Fi version for the Pros, you have a base station, and we're fairly far away from the base station, even outside on the ones for a house. And the quality is great. The signal's never had an issue. The one time we did have an issue wound up being the camera, and we went through the process with Arlo and they sent us a new camera. We sent them the old one, and it hasn't been an issue since. And the other thing that I really liked with Arlo is that there is an offline mode, and in here there is a micro SD card slot. And on the Pro, there's a base station that you use, and on the Pro there's a USB port on the back. What both of those allow you to do is if this loses cellular connection, it's still running. So if it gets motion, it's still going to record, but it'll record to the SD card. Excuse me, it'll record to the micro SD card. And then same thing with the Pros running off Wi-Fi. Even though it can't go out to the Arlo cloud, it can still record to the thumb drive, and then you just pull the thumb drive out and pop it in your computer and you have the files. And they also work even when the connection is there with the cloud. It just makes a redundant copy that's local. And that's good for a few reasons. One, on the more higher security side, if there was an issue and your internet was deliberately taken down, and since these are wire free, especially with the Go's, they're still recording. And if you position them right, you position them up really high where you need an extension ladder, and even on the extension ladder you have to reach up pretty high. It's going to be extremely difficult unless you shoot them down to disable the camera. And with the Pro, the way the base station works is, again, if the internet goes down, if it's intentional, then you're still recording to that thumb drive. If you have the base station hooked up to a backup battery, like a UPS, uninterrupted power supply, and the ones we prefer are APC brand, then you can run for hours with that on the battery, because it's not really doing anything. It's just pulling information from here. But that allows, even if your power and internet are down, intentional or not, then you are still recording to that device, and you just need to make sure that your base station is in an area that's not easily accessible, so you still have the files. The other benefit with the base station that the Go's do not use a base station; they're independent. Another benefit with the Pro base station is that it has a very loud speaker on it, and all of these you can set for different motion sensitivity. You can set it for audio sensitivity, so if it hears something, it'll start recording. The other thing you can do is set it so if you go out of town, you could put a camera in your house from your system, and if it detects motion, since no one should be there because you're on vacation or wherever you're at, then it'll trigger that audible alarm, in addition to sending you an update to your, if you have an Apple Watch, it sends a picture and that kind of thing, and to your phone. And then they also have an E911 feature that you input your address into the web app, or probably on the mobile app too, but definitely on the web app. And you have an option to press a button, and it'll use your address that you've put in for your 911 area. So you can just, on the app, you have a picture of what's going on, you can watch it, and you can hit a button to call 911 for that area. So if you're on vacation, you obviously, if you don't know, when your cell phone does not just go to the 911 center for where your home is, it's going to go to the nearest tower. And what Arlo has done is they've taken your 911 call and basically done a voice over IP call, and when you hit that button, it's basically calling from your house, even though you're anywhere in the world. And that's just handy if that's something you're looking into. But on a side note, you should also always have the non-emergency number for the city or county you live in, so that way if you do have something come up, you can call the actual dispatch center instead of just 911. If you live in New York, but you're visiting Montana, that way if something comes up, you can call the New York 911 center. And as far as the Arlos go, that's pretty much it. The app is super intuitive. It's really easy to use. The convenience of being able to get a picture on your watch, on your Apple Watch, and then saying a person was detected and you label all of these. So you can label front yard, backyard, lake house, whatever you want to do. And that way when the alert comes up, it can say lake house backyard or, home front porch. And that way you know what's going on where, and you can see if it's, is it the gardeners, is the, the mailman, or is it someone that's actually walking around your house. One other thing that I want to make sure to note is we live in a cyber age. Obviously, these are all cyber devices, and security should always be at the forefront of your mind when you're doing this kind of stuff, especially with like Alexas or Google Homes or these things too. All of these have microphones, and all of these Arlos have lenses on them. And just because it is a good company and the site's secure, you need to always remember that this has a lens on it and that there's a microphone. And if the system is hacked, or if it's accidentally triggered, however maliciously or not, on the other side, they can record and watch everything you're doing. So don't walk around your house naked with these cameras on the walls, because that is a recipe for disaster. If you're having proprietary business conversations, don't do it when these cameras are in the room. Either take them down or do something else. I always recommend anything that's like this that you do not have direct control over. If you do not have the DVR in your house and it is a closed circuit system, then always assume that whatever is seen or heard on this can be taken off the server by someone that hacks their system. And just since we're talking about cyber stuff, that's the same thing with Amazon and Google. All of those systems are microphones in your home, and you need to place them in an according spot. They have really good microphones, and if their system is hacked, or even if it's told to do anything like that, you have to know you are intentionally putting a microphone and or a camera where you have private conversations, and you need to know that the consequences that can happen if you don't take precautions for that. So what we do is we never, ever put one of these in our house. These are always only placed outside of our house, and where we are 100% sure that even if the footage was stolen or someone hacked into their system to try and look at our house, they would see the same thing as if you drove down the alley or drove down the street. They would not get any helpful information on trying to rob the house, no more so than sitting out in the front yard. And you just need to remember that, because all of these devices, Nest, Ring, whatever it is, if you do not have control of the destination where those things are going, like a home server or something, always treat these as someone that's sitting there listening and watching your conversations. And with the reminder of keeping all the cyber things safe, thank you for watching. This was Arlo, and I highly recommend it. This is a great system. They're durable. We've had these in Texas summers multiple times, and some not, Michigan winters, but they've still been pretty cold. It's definitely been below freezing, and they still work fine. And I highly recommend these cameras if you're looking for something. Thanks for watching.